Hello, Facebook, YouTube. Hello, everyone. This is Mind Talker Thomas with the Mind Talker Thomas Hour. We're going to get into some things off the internet here and listen to what has been going on based on what's showing up on my YouTube. Now, those of you who, just a minute. Let's have this little commercial interjection here. Wow. You know what I like is a nice cup of First Street coffee. You ever wake up in the morning, you need that quick coffee binge? Well, First Street coffee is always there for you. Just pour some of the grinds of First Street coffee into your coffee maker and pour some water in there and turn it on. You'll get some black coffee like you've never, ever experienced. First Street coffee, delicious to the very last drop. Thank you to our First Street sponsors. Thank you, friends and family, for tuning in. This is the Mind Talker Hour. It's 3:12 p.m., Tuesday, September 13th, 2022. This is a commentary on what's coming up on the internet, particularly in the YouTube venue. Now, like many of you have heard, YouTube is one of these kind of online services that do their best to suit you based on your interests and topics. But most of the interests and topics are pretty generic, so it's not maybe the best representation of you as much as just the topics you're into. Me, I pick the news, documents, and videos, and unfortunately, because of that, a lot of the things that show up on my YouTube are pretty controversial or have something to do with court cases. But let's see. First thing that shows up when I pull up YouTube, though, is my own personal multi-streaming with Restream.io. Live. I'm live. And you're all, if you're into my channel, you're seeing me talk right now. In fact, I'm watching myself talk on this right now. How trippy is that? And before that, looks like it's showing me, well, I just reloaded it. But there's an advertisement here about get a free copy of best-selling book on wholesaling real estate. I'm not interested in that, so we're going to scroll down and we're going to pass my stroll. Pink Floyd, The Division Bell, we're going to pass that up. Apollo's working on White. I don't know what that is. How to Eddie Van Halen in 30 seconds. Nice. Then there's I Won't Let You, The Senseless Case of Tristan Bailey. The Senseless Case of Tristan Bailey. This is from this one documentary channel I found called Coffee House Crime. So maybe we'll listen in on this one. This one looks like it's about 20 minutes. 5 months old, though, so we'll see. And this will be my response to The Senseless Case of Tristan Bailey. Let's see.
Stargate, a 24/7
Now, right off the bat, I don't really think I'm familiar with this case at all.
Watch through the star.
Let's see.
There is only so much we can do to keep our children safe from trouble. And all the same, this case... On Mother's Day of 2021, in a peaceful suburb of Jackson, Florida, a young woman vanished from her home overnight. With distraught parents and a frantic community, officers and volunteers alike gathered to search for the now missing Tristan Bailey. But what they would come to find would be just as shocking as unbelievable. Welcome back to Coffee House Crime. My name is Adrian, and today we're talking about the case of Tristan Bailey and Aidan Fucci. If you're a parent, this case may deeply concern you. There is only so much we can do to keep our children safe from trouble. And all the same, this case confirms our greatest fears. By the way, I post solved, unsolved, and strange cases here on a weekly basis, so if that sounds like your kind of thing, please consider subscribing to Coffee House Crime. So with that said, pull up a seat, grab a coffee, and sit back. This is the case
First Street
of Tristan
Coffee,
Bailey.
everybody.
Today's story takes us down to South Florida. Naming the obvious, the Sunshine State is famous for its oranges, beautiful weather, and variety of theme parks. But for now, we're avoiding the tourist city of Orlando and instead flying over to Florida's northern city of Jacksonville. With a city centre population of 1 million residents alone, Jacksonville is the state's largest by population. It's a rich city with many large-scale companies calling it home, as well as a busy port serving both military and civilian needs, both of which bring plenty of jobs, opportunity, and income to the area.
Sounds good.
People choose Jacksonville for its abundance of leisure and lifestyle options, and the city boasts the largest urban park system in the US, allowing people to take part in activities from boating and fishing to surfing and water skiing. And after spending time in the sun, it's easy to relax in the laid-back atmosphere of Jax's many eateries and craft breweries. It is no wonder why people wish to settle here in Jacksonville. And our case today takes us south of the city to St. John's, an affluent suburb popular with families and veterans looking for a chilled-out lifestyle. And here we find the home and family of 13-year-old Tristan Bailey. Tristan was born on the 18th of January 2008 to her mother Stacy and father Forrest. She was the newest and final addition to the family, the youngest of 5 siblings. And the family of 7 lived in a large house on Cloister Bain Drive. A cul-de-sac with perfectly manicured gardens and red-flagged mailboxes at the end of every driveway. A middle-class suburb where arguably not much goes wrong. The family were tight-knit and would affectionately refer to themselves as the Bailey 7. It's from Tristan's loving home that she attended the local school, Patriots Oaks Academy, where she studied, socialized, and enrolled into the school's cheerleading squad. Tristan was extremely passionate about cheerleading, attending practices on the regular, and maybe a little too much, as apparently it sometimes got in the way of her studies. Loved by many, Tristan was a sociable and outgoing young girl with a real zest for life. She was determined to be the best at everything she did, and she was well liked amongst her peers. She also loved to go to any events she could find in her local area, as naturally she wanted to be involved with the community. And on the first weekend of May 2021, this was no different. She wanted to go to a food truck event with a friend, and after asking her mum for permission, she was allowed if her friend's parents picked them up. This came and passed by as intended, and besides meeting a few new faces, the event was rather uneventful. Tristan then returned home and went to bed, thus concluding a Friday night. The next day played out like any other Saturday, all members of the family going about their usual weekend routines, with half of the family also visiting the oldest sibling's house for dinner. They returned home just before midnight, where Tristan's sister walked in on her having a video call with a stranger. She didn't recognize him, but it was a boy wearing a white baseball cap.
Okay. Can't go through any more of that. It's too dark. It's too scary. Can't handle it at the moment. I'm going to back up and see what else the internet is presenting to us. Let's see. Hey, Billy Joel. That's how it goes. Talk to the first AI with empathy. Hey, look at that. They're trying to sell me a chatbot powered by AI. And this sounds interesting. Let's go ahead and install this. We'll test this AI bot out. It's called Replica, my AI friend. Let's see. Whoa, no, it's 234 megabytes. And over my installation, it'll take too long. Sorry, not going to happen. No AI friend. Anyway, those of you interested in calling in on the Mind Talker show, it's 805-574-9025. Let's see. Skylar Nemitz. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I heard about the Skylar Nemitz trial defendant. This one's pretty bad, guy. I'm not going to go into that. See, like dark, pretty intense stuff on the internet, man. And let's see what else. Creepy gadget, zoom lens. Oh, this guy's hunting pedophiles. Nirvana's Bleach album. That chapter is presenting this family was murdered in a cave by a ruthless killer. Beatles Bible. On this day, Zach Starkey is born. Happy birthday, Zach. On 13th September 1965, Ringo Starr's wife, Maureen Starkey, gave birth to their first son, Zach. Zach Starkey was born at Queen Charlotte's Hospital, Hammersmith, London. Ringo chose Zach's name because it was a nice, strong name that can't be shortened, explaining that it was a mad cowboy name that had been spinning around my brain at the time. In later years, he followed in his father's footsteps and became a drummer, working with acts including The Who, Oasis, the Lightning Seeds, The Healers, and Ringo Starr's all-star band. Okay, so we're going to end the show on this. Eliminates all negative energy. Tibetan healing sounds.
We are a place where creative dreamers go to learn their craft.
And go there. Go there. Everybody, enjoy the arts and crafts. Now I finished the show on some Tibetan healing sounds. And I'll let you look at my my paintings for a while. Kind of finish the session on that. I got what was the answer there? I'll pull that out and let you see the face behind that. Yeah, that was the answer. That face. I'm just gonna put the camera on the face there, so I can get the camera on my face, and we'll just put these Buddha sounds here, and just kind of focus on that for a little while. Just want you to reduce that level of anxiety that's in you and feel the healing power of these Tibetan bells as they get into your unconscious mind and help you resolve anything between your unconscious and subconscious mind that you haven't been tending to really well lately. Maybe these bells will be a way of kind of bringing you into a better understanding of who you are and what you want to do in this lifetime. Thank you so much for tuning in on the Mind Talker Show. We appreciate you. We really do. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to buy your First Street coffee and drink some First Street coffee. It's even good cold. Oh, you're still here. Well, that's fantastic. That means I drove all the other ones away, and you're still here. That's great. That's great. What do you want to talk about? Let's type in news on our Google stream. Ken Starr, independent counsel in Clinton investigation, dies at 76. The White House, statement of President Joe Biden on Consumer Price Index in. Robert Tells, accused of murdering Jeff German in Las Vegas. Russia's war in Ukraine, live updates. Russia spent millions on secret global political campaign, U.S. U.S. incomes failed to grow for second year in a row, census figures show. Okay. Out of those 6 news stories, which one do you want me to check out? Or should we look up music news? Let's look up music news, ladies and gentlemen. I am a saxophone player. Music news. Looks like when I bring up music news, it brings up an ad for yellowbrick.co. Be your own promoter. Music industry essentials. Musicnews.com. The #1 music magazine featuring band and artist news, reviews, interviews, videos, and gossip, UK and worldwide. All right. Slipknot's Corey Taylor and Jim Root plotting new. Oh, they slid it over there before I could read it. Nicki Minaj. I moved it before I could read it. Lizzo breaks down in tears while accepting first Emmy Award. Robbie Williams hints at Kylie Minogue kids duet at AFL Grand Final. Slipknot's Corey Taylor and Jim Root plotting new side project. So that is the music news, folks. Okay. Well, I haven't heard from any of you during this 28 minutes and 51 seconds of broadcasting, but I do hope you're doing well wherever you are and having a very fantastic day. I know I am. Royal Grande is not so hot right at this moment that I got to plug in the AC right next to me. No, actually, the house is relatively cool. I may open it up here in a little bit to get some breezes coming through. So, yeah, I didn't plan out this Mind Talker show very much because I thought I'd find some stuff I'd really be interested in talking about online, but I can't seem to vibe with a lot of it right at this moment for some reason. Finding a lot of trials, casino games, albums. Well, this guy got his new wife to torture his old wife. Kilgore versus Kutz, what Apocalypse Now is really about film analysis. There's a creepy rapper. Why did the world's best chess player go insane? What? Now, I hadn't heard of this, so we're going to have to investigate this. I'm going to go ahead and turn off those Tibetan bells.
There is dimensional
This is the Mind Talker Show. It's 3:41 p.m.
People are so entranced by this adventure of
Tuesday,
who are these
September 13th,
monsters.
2022.
Hey, 42 here. Some people are born to do just one thing, and one thing only. Lionel Messi was meant to be a footballer. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was made to write music, and Albert Einstein was born to change our understanding of the universe. Robert James Fisher, he was placed on planet Earth to play chess. This man was quite simply a phenomenon. He broke every record in the book during a meteoric rise to the top of his sport game. Well, sport, but also a game. Look, I don't know what it is, but he was really good at it. So good that at the peak of his powers, American prodigy Bobby Fischer single-handedly took on the might of the Soviet chess machine, a state-sponsored juggernaut who monopolized international chess for 2.5 decades, and won. In doing so, he demonstrated a level of dominance over the world's strongest players that had never been seen before, and hasn't been seen since. But Fischer didn't only have to contend with his grandmaster opponents, he also battled with his own inner demons. Having scaled the dizzying heights of the chess equivalent of Mount Everest to become the undisputed best player on Earth, Fischer threw it all away as his growing paranoia and distrust saw him all but abandon the game he dedicated his life to. As his behaviour grew more and more erratic, he eventually found himself a fugitive from the law and an exile from the country he'd brought so much glory to. This is the remarkable true story of Bobby Fischer, arguably the greatest genius chess has ever seen. Based on genes alone, Fischer was always going to be bright. His mother, Regina, held a PhD in medicine and spoke 7 languages fluently. And his father, Herman, was a biophysicist. Or at least a man people thought was his father was a biophysicist. It turns out there's an extremely good chance Bobby was actually the product of an affair his mother had with Hungarian mathematician and physicist Paul Nemenyi. Either way, it's safe to say nature was on his side, though things were a bit complicated on the nurture front. Bobby was technically homeless when he was born in 1943, and with his parents separated, he and his sister Joan were brought up by their mother. Regina was a complex woman. Extremely politically active, she was routinely investigated by the FBI for her suspected communist links. Bobby was never particularly close to his mum, and when he was just 16, she left him to live on his own in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Brooklyn, as she pursued her medical career. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This story really begins when Bobby was just 6 years old, because that's when he discovered the game that would change his life. It was his sister who bought the chess set, and the two of them learned how the pieces moved from the instructions included in the box. To begin with, it was a bit of fun, but over time, Bobby's thoughts turned to chess more and more often. Within a year, what had started out as a hobby had turned into an all-consuming obsession. At least, it had for Bobby. His sister had largely lost interest, leaving him with no one to play with. Not that he minded all that much, he just played with himself. Not like that. It was 2 years later that Bobby Fischer first showed up as the faintest of blips on the US chess radar. Noting her son's passion for the game, but a little concerned about how much time he was spending playing alone, Regina placed an advert in a local paper, seeking possible opponents and, ideally, friends for Bobby. What she got was even better. He was invited to take part in a match against one of the strongest players in the US at the time, Max Pavey. It was to be a so-called simultaneous exhibition, with Pavey demonstrating his prodigious skills by playing against a large group of players all at the same time. If you're expecting this story to start with a miracle victory against a chess master, I'm afraid I'm going to have to disappoint you. Pavey put Bobby away in about 15 minutes. But whilst it was an easy victory, the self-taught 7-year-old had acquitted himself remarkably well. So well that the president of the Brooklyn Chess Club, also present at the exhibition, decided to take Bobby in under his wing, offering a little tuition and introducing him to his club. It was the break Bobby had needed to take his game to the next level. And, surrounded by skillful coaches and strong players, he began to improve at an almost unbelievable rate. He won his first tournament at the age of 9, and was soon more than a match for most players at the club, the majority of whom were decades his senior. In the summer of 1956, when Bobby was just 13, he scored his first major victory, becoming the youngest US junior chess champion in history. It was an incredible achievement by any measure. But Fischer was just getting started. Later that same year,